As you can see on the screen, I had almost double the amount of clutches as everyone else in my last CS tournament that I played. I'm not trying to boast or anything, I just thought I'd make a video kind of breaking down the algorithm and the mindset and just how I approach clutches, so you can hopefully basically just watch this video if you ever need to improve your clutches. So I'm going to break down the science of how I was able to win so many of them and how you can use the same principles to win more in your own games. Problem I see with my coaching clients is they get stressed a lot whenever they're clutching. But then the stress feeds itself and they like notice they're stressed, which makes them even more stressed. One client of mine was trialing for a semi-pro team and he told me in a round where all of his teammates were spectating, so he was like trialing for the semi-pro team. Imagine it's like his first opportunity and all these people who are like better than him are like specking him, and the guy had like told him previously, okay, you only have like 2 days to like show yourself pretty much to the team, so much pressure on him. So he's playing like in these scrims and he only had like 2 days to show himself off. He felt like unreal like pressure, like overwhelming pressure, and obviously that's a pretty high pressure situation, but that's like a common feeling for you in like MM or Face It. Like you still feel that kind of pressure, you start feeling shaky, you start overthinking it. Now most people online in like CS kind of advice or kind of any advice with clutching, if you ask someone, they'll say, oh, just stay calm, just relax, bro, like chill. And that like sounds good, but like that doesn't actually do anything. So, and if that worked, like no one would struggle with clutching at all. So the truth is, telling yourself to relax in those moments kind of just doesn't work. So here's kind of my unique take. The key to staying calm is to actually stop trying to be calm. Like think about it a bit more. When you're clutching, your heart rate goes up, your hands like start shaking a little bit, your aim gets a bit shaky, and you feel kind of like that adrenaline rush. And that doesn't actually mean something's wrong. Whereas you right now think, oh, that's a problem, like my aim's a bit shaky, that's an issue. It means your body is doing pretty much exactly what it's supposed to do. It's the same reaction to if you were like if you saw a tiger in the wild, your body's gonna like get a bunch of adrenaline to basically help you survive, right? Basically it's there to sharpen your focus and put you into a state where you can actually react faster and think faster, and it kind of puts you into like an insta flow state, which you've probably felt before, but you usually instantly come out of that flow state because you're thinking too much about your like hands and your shakiness, or you're overthinking in the clutch, right? As I said, a clutch is no different to walking into a tiger in the wild. Like you still feel that kind of similar feeling. Maybe it's a little bit less than a tiger, and that's why you still have the opportunity to overthink. Whereas if you saw a tiger, you're probably not thinking at all, you're probably just doing, because it's like such a heightened danger, where a clutch is kind of that middle ground. So I'd say that actually can help you, and I've seen it in my clients before, and I feel it in myself, because everyone feels this. Even Zywu feels the adrenaline rush. It's just kind of how you deal with it. And I don't think Zywu's looking at the adrenaline, oh shit, I'm feeling shaky. He's not overthinking what's happened in that game, in that clutch that he's playing in. He's just kind of just playing and enjoying the game and having fun with it. And not everyone, like, you don't instantly like hit every shot, like, and you'll have like a bias of where you miss a shot and you're like, oh shit, okay, I'm in clutch, I'm like feeling stressed, and you start like everything. You can't have that at all if you want to win clutches. It just has to be like pure flow state. So this adrenaline actually helps you get into that flow state. So just keep in mind, the goal isn't to fight your stress. The goal is to accept it and actually use it positively. So you need to realize everyone feels the same pressure, and it's not a weakness, but it's just kind of natural response to an intense situation. You can actually let that energy push you into the flow state, as I said before, and that's where the best clutches happen. So this first clutch, we have not a great buy here. We fought towards mid early with the rifles here, taking those long range duels, and then our site players are kind of just blocking and just playing passive. And I'm just playing CT with 5-7 with the idea to just like drop the smoke and just cause chaos, like throw flashes for like my 2 rifles to run through. So here I just drop the smoke, molly main, throw a flash. My teammate Alistair flashes as well, and we just jump through and we just flood. Alistair, you see us running here. It's absolutely hectic. I make my way to default, and I hear this guy behind me. And it sounds like maybe there's 2 here, so I'm just crouching, and see, I moved up to like a spot where I'm like full covered from one side of the site. I didn't just like sit in ninja or something. I went to a spot where I knew I could like isolate fights and play around the box. So I come close here, and I hear him running, so I'm like, okay, what's happening here? So I hear him running behind me, so I kill him. And then my teammate here swings out to try and help me. He sees the guy sandwich, he says, dink sandwich. So I'm still thinking there's a guy CT, okay? So keep this in mind. So look how I move here. We'll go above myself. So I kill this guy here. And then I think there's a guy CT, so I'm just making noise right now for Valiant to run through. Then as soon as I hear this guy sandwich and I think this guy's CT, I backpedal like this. I move back and then like this, so I can kill this guy, and then I'm ready to, like, I kill this guy and then I'm ready to fall back into the box here, instead of just like peeking maybe even this side like this or this, where I can't fall back because I'm thinking there's a guy CT from my like info. So what ends up happening is here you can see I kill him there. I make a bunch of noise for Valiance to come through. He dies. I move backwards, like almost even diagonally across here. I get the kill and then I retreat back to here. So I can I'm just isolating the jewels. So I'm like linking my movement with my info and my aim. And a lot of this comes with time, but we can like break down some of the things that are happening here. And it's a lot of it's playing around boxes. I think clutches is it kind of playing with sound, playing with info, playing with footsteps, kind of understanding what the enemies will do because of the info you're giving them, right? Because that's what you can control, is the info you're giving them. Enemies will often react kind of similar to certain kinds of info. So, for example, in this example, I start shooting here and just start shooting walls. So then Valiants can walk through, and because the sound here, look where TJP looks. So TJP is holding the smoke here, holding the smoke. He hears me shoot, like this. He sees like Valiance, but he hears me shoot and he's gonna look there. Obviously, everyone does whenever you hear an enemy shoot or like a molly thrown, they like look the other way. In this example, like I'm just shooting to try and basically make him look towards me, and because I know that that's what happens. I know that Valiance needs to take a timing. Anyway, I trade him out. I know he's full low HP, so I know that I can just body spray like that. Usually I'd aim for a headshot, but I just go for the body shots. And then right at the end, Valiant calls A main, because on death cam they see him here. So then I know immediately, okay, it's a 1v1. I know there's no one CT, and then I play behind this box. Now it's an interesting position because on his screen it's actually not obvious what happened. He hears a footstep, but I could be under balk, I could be default, and I kind of think that he thinks the same thing. And another thing with these boxes is unless he hits a headshot on me, it's not an insta kill with AWP. I have 70 HP, so it might be, but I know that there's a good chance that he's gonna like not be able to like just kill me insta, or even with 7 HP. It probably does around 70, so I can like kind of play behind this box. He's probably not just going to shoot a random bullet because I could be under back, I could be default, so I'm just going to hide and then just basically peek on like a timing that I know like feels good, where he kind of like starts overthinking. You know, there's like a timing after like 3 seconds where the enemy just basically starts overthinking. If he doesn't know exactly where I am, he's going to start like looking around like Chelios is doing here. So I just kind of wait for this timing and just kind of feel it out for myself, and then just peek, and it was just ended up being the perfect timing. I hide behind the box here so he can't see me. I crouch just in case he can see my head, and then I just put my crosshair because I think he's gonna be somewhere around here, or maybe he's even jumping up. People like to do that, but I'm just aiming at the headshot angle and then just take the headshot. What's up, guys? If you're grinding CS2 and you feel like you're stuck or just not improving the way you want, this is for you. I put together a full course designed to help you hit 3k elo. As you guys know, I've spent years competing and coaching players at all levels. I've worked one-on-one with people who are hard stuck, and I've helped them break through by focusing on the stuff that actually matters. In this course, I'll give you the super specific practical advice you need, like the optimal sensitivity range, a training routine, desk height depending on your sensitivity, optimal tone of voice so your teammates actually listen to you in your pug, and other specific stuff like this. We'll also cover how to set up your game optimally, mechanics, communication, everything you need to learn to be 3k elo. So go check it out in the description below. Second part of clutch science is isolation. So think of it kind of like physics. You never want multiple kind of forces acting on you at the same time, or you're going to get crushed, right? You kind of want to take a hit, okay, deal with one, deal with other, and kind of move around like this. Kind of like if you're in a fight, you kind of like you don't want to stay still and get like punched from both sides. You want to isolate the fights and kind of take them one by one and kind of move left, right, and always kind of like staying on the move, right? And isolating fights always using geometry, so using walls, and kind of you want to use one, like deal with one of the issues, which is one of the forces, and then deal with the other one. And everyone kind of knows that, but hopefully that kind of like helps you visualize it a bit more. So in this example here, you're going to see on Inferno, I'm isolating the fight on the back guy, then letting the close guy kind of get close to me, and then I'm using the geometry to kind of play it around it. So always isolating those fights. So now we're going to look at this game versus KG. On Inferno, I ended up getting 3 1v2s this map, so we're going to have a look at those 3, and it starts off on the first round on pistol here, and it was just me solo B here with the smoke and flashes, and I'm just kind of clearing Nana. They're hearing like a bunch of them running up mid, so I start pushing behind. Alistair picks one off, and I start running because I know they're not going to be close, they're not coming back. Get the timing on this guy. Now I know I have the flashes and the smoke. I was going to smoke Pip, but I was like, nah, I want to have like these open fights, especially that Ali has a USP. And now I'm taking a little bit of time because a lot of people when they plant, they love to have a guy like walk apps, and he does like this kind of movement where he like plants somewhere here, or there's already a guy apps, for example. So like I think here we knew there was one guy site and he planted, and we didn't know where the other guy was. He could kind of be wherever. He ends up pushing the motor smoke, but I'm thinking here maybe people love to take this rotation and then come around and kill here through boiler. So what I'm doing is I saw there's a flash, so I throw one early just as a fake, so it looks like I'm delaying for maybe even like a late library or anything like this to put pressure on them to still have to hold this, because it looks like I'm just throwing a random flash to like try and create a timing for my teammate, when in reality my teammate's right there. So I also see there's a flash on boiler, so I can just pick up another one, and then I'm kind of being supportive here for Alistair, and I'm throwing flashes behind him to hopefully blind the site guys. And then here I'm moving to like a checkpoint. So a checkpoint is pretty much a point where you can kind of, you're not dying immediately to where your teammate's fighting. You're holding their back, but you're ready to instantly, go around the corner and like kill enemies pretty much and trade. But you're not going to die in the back because you're back against the wall. So this is kind of like a checkpoint. Just holding just in case the guy apps. But then Alistair spots the guy's site and spots the guy in the corner of murder there. And then here, I know that there's obviously the guy in the corner, and I know there's a guy's site. So here, I know I can isolate fights. So we all know, as I said, isolating fights is the biggest thing in clutches. And just saying, oh, isolate fights isn't actually going to help because everyone knows that. So what I say is you need to use the box to isolate fights. Like using boxes and walls is how you isolate fights. Because if you don't use a box or a wall, they can always just peek you, right? So whenever you isolate fights, you're using boxes. So here, I immediately know that this guy's mid-site, and I know this guy is in the cutout. He kind of is in a bit of a weird position, and he's probably going to go for like taps and jiggles, just trying to kind of see where I am and kind of put pressure on me. So I know I can maybe get that like kind of quick headshot. So I can isolate him because he's on the right here, and I know that Mingovi's kind of on the middle box. So we'll watch that again. So here I know he's mid-site. Okay, miss a few shots, that's fine. I'll come to this guy, I tap him out, and then I end up like dinking the other guy through the wall. Just feeling really comfortable with my aim, and just take him out now that he's like, I know that he's dinked. So the third one is mathematics. So the clock is a big part of clutching because a lot of clutches come post-plant, both on CT and T, and the clock changes a lot with how you have to play. So in this example, you'll see on B site, I'm playing like a post plant, and I know the clock's ticking. I'm having to count the bomb seconds in my head, and I'm kind of calculating everything. And in the example, I'm aware of like peak timings and the fact that the bomb's down, so I don't have to insta peak. And I know that I don't have to insta peak if someone taps because I know there's still 5 seconds until they defuse. So you'll see the example here. So this is another pistol round clutch that I got in this next game. Here we're just doing kind of like a B pop, just spotting this guy, making a bunch of noise, do the pop. Just doing some movement out just to basically not get headshot, avoid the shots from short. Whenever I'm jumping this angle, I jump across like this, so it's harder to hit me. So if there's a guy aiming at me short, look, it's a lot harder to hit. Look at my movement. See how I like jump across, and so does my teammate. And then look at the guy at the back, how much easier he is to hit when he's just flat like that. I'm doing like kind of this movement instead of just this, so my head's like harder to hit and harder to track, so I can get across to these angles. And then from there, we have like the double smokes. So we just get close to kind of like put pressure on the CTs because we see a lot short. We're just going to like fight, mark it together. Teammates get the kills. And then here I dink brace, so I know he's low. Then my teammates call, I think, one more low. 1 or 2 more low. So here I get the body shots. I see he's on the bomb, and I'm just making sure like the guy doesn't tap and then like peek, or his teammate doesn't peek. And then I peek out here, I see both of them, and I see braces off the bomb, and I see Sterling short here. So now I'm chilling. Now I know he's probably sticking here because it's low time, kit 5 seconds, and I know that Sterling's gonna have to hold me. So I just go for the fast kill and then the fast body shot as well, because I know they're fairly low here, so I can just go for these shots. And this is just isolating the fights and just having those good movements, and just right here, just being careful, not like plus W rushing to the bomb right now. I'm kind of chilling because I know I have that timer in my head. Even if he has a kit, there's like still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that's kind of like counting in the back of your head. to get the first kill and then isolate. And just use this wall here just to isolate the different fights. See, as soon as I see both of them, okay, I'm ducking away, so they obviously can't like kill. They can both like peek me at the same time, which is what I don't want, especially when they're low HP. That's like their good chance to win. And here I know I can just get this kill because I hear him to the right, and then just get the final. So the final part is geometry. So in this example, I am like tapping the bomb and I move to the left because I know the guy will peek me looking at where the bomb is, and I've already moved to the left with shift. So just kind of understanding the way that positioning works and having like off angles that you can move to super strong, and understanding like where the opponent's crosshair has to move to because of the information you've given them. So this next one is a retake against Fury here. So I'm walking up donut. I know that my teammate is on the flank here. So I'm kind of chilling. I kind of don't know where they can be right now because they killed the CT guys, so they can kind of be anywhere on the map right now. So I'm walking to the smoke to kind of isolate the right side of these boxes. I know my teammate dies main, and I know he has AWP, right? So I'm super aware of that. So I know where one of them is. Immediately in my head, like I see this picture. And this is like a visualization I make instantly. Okay, this guy's here. Then I'm clearing these close angles, trying to isolate the fights. I'm not just walking into the open here and like going like this, because I know that's going to expose me to everywhere and they can like peek off. Quite often the guy will like sit here and then this guy will like peek off him. The enemies will always call like, oh, peek off me, or whatever. So then I walk in here and I actually don't see this guy at start because I usually use 4-3. I'm on 16-9 right now. But then I just catch the side of him. Get the headshot, and then immediately after I see this second guy, I know exactly where like they both are, right? Because I see this guy here and I know the guy's aim main. So here I know the main guy has an AWP as well, so I'm like being kind of careful with these angles, and I also know he's low because Keen tagged him down. So what I'm doing here is I'm like kind of taking the angles pretty like chill, and I know he's probably not going to peek me with AWP because he's so low. He kind of probably wants to play the bomb. If he was in a 1v1, he would probably peek me though. This is just from experience. Like 1v1s, people like do what I said and they peek before the bomb timing. So what would be a timing to like peek would be like, as soon as you hear me running towards the bomb, you like peek before. So you try and catch the timing of me going like this and then looking at the bomb to tap, and then that's like when you peek. So once again, a lot of it's just using walls. And here I'm going to show you an example of like using the wall. So I know this guy's low and I kind of don't expect him to peek just because it's a 1v2 and he doesn't want to just like randomly just die for nothing. He probably wants to like double peek with his teammate or like him peek first, but he actually ends up going for exactly what I said. He tries to time the peek. I reckon it could have been better just to play the bomb a little bit more, maybe even jump spot to try and get info, but he tries to go for the peek that I talked about. Super hard, but I know he's low, so I even shoot him just like straight through the box, and then I know where this last guy is, so I do like a middle click nade. Which doesn't go far enough because I stepped. I should have like done a little step forward. Another great thing about nades is they like full deafen someone, so they can't actually hear diffusers or footsteps or whatever, so it kind of actually dazes them, especially in this kind of situation where he knows I am. But as soon as he like gets super deaf, which I also have in mind when I like hit someone with a nade, I know they can't hear me. That's the time where you can like run at them, or you can like tap the bomb and like stick the bomb. It just makes it super hard for them to be able to like kind of work out what's happening because they go fully deaf if a nade goes off near them. So another thing here is like using the geometry of the box here. So I know that he might be going for that like early timing that this original AWPer went for. That's why I do the nade. So I know he's gonna like. Firstly, I know he's going to move out because he has to get to this bottom floor to be able to actually swing and kill. So I know he has to go down here, so that's why I nade. But what I also do, I try and kill him if he's peeking on that that early off timing. And if he's not, I'm going to use the geometry again, and I'm going to tap, and I'm going to move out wide here so that when he peeks me, he's going to be aiming at where the bomb is because he's just heard me tap like this. But I'm now on an off angle because as soon as he peaks here, and as soon as I tap, I can kind of be here, 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 crouched here, maybe even here. It's like super hard for him to kind of like do anything. He kind of just has to pre-aim where I am towards the bomb right here. So that's why I'm going on a wider angle, so he's forced to kind of move his crosshair from left to right and have to actually flick. He hits a nice like headshot, but for me, I can just stand here and move to the side, walking, and then just kind of kill him. So I'm using the geometry of the box. So that's it. That's the science of clutching in CS2. I use this exact framework to lead my tournament in clutches, and I basically just break down fights like I showed you in this video. And this is kind of just how I think about it. A lot of time in the moment, you kind of just do it automatically. And as I said before, you feel that stress, that can actually get you into that state, flow state, that can make you really sharp in those kind of situations and be able to break down those situations more. Because I know you guys will have it like when you hop on, sometimes it just feels like complete crap, like you can't like think properly, everything's kind of confusing, maybe you're feeling like a bit like sick or something has just distracted you out of the game, and like even when you're looking at the monitor you're like noticing everything, oh the picture over there, my light's annoying, there's like a fly. But then you have those Unreal games where you finish the game and you like look around and you're like, oh shit, like I was just like playing, like I didn't even notice anything around it's gotten dark outside. And that's the kind of position you want to be in, which is position that can happen from feeling a little bit of adrenaline that can kind of lock you into that mode. So you really use that. That's the main thing I want you guys to get out of this video, because everyone I work with always has the same issue. I feel shaking in clutches and I tell them it's totally fine, it's normal. You feel a bit of shake, it's fine, you can still shoot their head, you might miss one bullet, it's fine. It's part of the game, it's part of the feeling, and it can actually make your mind sharper sometimes. So use it to your advantage. And so instead of focusing on staying calm or anything like that, just embrace what's happening, have fun with the clutches, be creative, and I'll see you in the next one.